Alright, so we kind of had a mishap with the S10 with the 400 small block setup we was running there. We went with the Lunati 560 lift hydraulic cam, and we had a strip dominator with a high rise intake on it, and the aluminum jigs fast burn heads. It was a really solid setup, and actually I blame part of the issue on myself for not checking different things or whatever, but you know, we're new at this and we learn as we go, and we buy all our parts, so if I decide to break them, you know, nobody's out nothing but me. But what ended up happening is when I first got the engine, the springs, it came with a very cheap set of springs in them, very weak, and I didn't really understand spring pressure and whatnot then, and I had put the motor in and started it, and it would actually float out at like 1500 RPM with the cam that I was running. And I think then, I've heard it then, and then we recently was going to a nitrous setup and never really got to spray it, but we couldn't get compression in cylinder number 6 and pulled ahead, and we had a bent valve, and it hit the piston. The piston has got the place in it, the valve is bent. You can fix the head for the price of one intake valve, which is no big deal, but spraying nitrous, it's gonna find the weak spot in the piston, and I'm really not willing to pull pistons out, put new pistons in it. For somebody that's wanting a hot street motor, you know, and I plan on parting it out and selling it to whoever. I mean, and everybody's gonna know, you know, I'm not trying to jip you out of your money and tell you that it's a good motor. I mean, it's hurt, but I'll show you what it did, and then I'll show you our plans going forward. Like I was saying here, cylinder number 6 here, on the passenger side, has definitely, the valve is hit here, as you can see. And the valve is already out of the head, or I'd show you what it did, but the head is fine. Everything's fine in the head, no scarring, no nothing. We're gonna pull this motor, and we're actually gonna make the switch to the dark side to the LS 5.3. And this LS came out of a 2004, I wanna say, Tahoe. Here it is. They poured it for a lifter tick. I got it when I was in high school and went crazy, painted it orange. Nothing else has been done. It's still got the stock cam, the bouncer's never been pulled, nothing. I was crazy about doing it and then lost interest. Back then it was pulled apart by me. This is the valve train out of it. This is your valves, rocker stands, rockers, push rods, heads, the whole 9 yards. I made this piece when I was in welding class in high school. But we're gonna go forward. Probably gonna end up running a BTR stage 4 cam, the truck cam, with a carbureted intake and the MSD 6014 box is the plan. We're gonna be spraying some serious shots of nitrous for where we're from and the money that we got to play with through this. Be some serious shots of nitrous for us. But back to the small block over here, this is what it did. This is cylinder number 6, and you can see there's no scar in here. This is just mating surface. The exhaust valve is fine. The guide is fine. There's nothing wrong with the seat. There's nothing scarred nowhere. It's just, it took a lick. The valve did itself. We got lucky. We got lucky. No bent push rods. Rockers are still fine. Everything's good to go. But we are going LS. And I'm going to do a video series of a budget build LS. My budget, I want to try to stay around $2,000. The block, we're going to go ahead and exclude from the $2,000 because I already had the block from years ago. We'll exclude it, but $2,000 in parts. That's pulleys, cam, intake box, everything that we're going to have. We don't know what's inside this, so if you stick around and follow along, we're not going to find bad bearings or anything, but we're going to pull the rings and gap them. I'll have a video series on gapping rings. We're going to do individual cylinder ring filing and, you know, get the gap right for nitrous. But I think it's going to be really interesting to do because it's something I've never did before. A lot of the people that I hang out with, most of them actually has the LS motors, the 4.8s, the 5.3s, the 6.0s. So I'm going to jump on that bandwagon and try it out. Later today, I'm going to start tearing into this and maybe pull the pistons and check bearings and whatnot. And I'll be able to video all that. But what I'm hoping to do is get this done within a month to 2 month period of time. and get ready to go racing when it's time. The weather here in Kentucky right now is beautiful some days, and then you'll have, like today, we had severe flooding, and then it's liable to snow tomorrow, and then tornado the next day, and back to get your sunscreen. We don't know. The weather's crazy, so we've not had a chance to do a lot of testing. The 406 actually blew up during a test. We say blew up, but it nicked a valve. It happened during a test. We had the bottle heated. It was on. Everything was on, but I was ready to spray it. It already did burn out, and it coughed one time, and I knew better than to spray it. And we ended up just coming back to the garage and put a compression tester on it, and we were down a cylinder. So, like I said, we'll be LSing, and then we'll have to actually do some swappage on my mount setup, because I've got the Trans Depot swap mounts for the V8, the small block mounts, and we'll have to get the ICT billet adapter mounts for the LS. So we'll see how much the old checkbook can stand, and we'll see if we can't get the old girl back up and running. So I hope you guys stay tuned, and hope you enjoy the video. Alright, so we started pulling pistons out. Mainly, we didn't really plan on taking the block to the machine shop. What ended up happening was we started to pull the stock cam out, and a cam bearing, like 1 or 2 or 3 back, and caught. And we kept prying on it with the screwdriver trying to get it out, because we didn't know we junk bearings. And the stock cam, I mean, you know, that's just garbage anyways. So me and Hunter, we ended up taking the back plate off, and we'll take all the rods and stuff out, and just set the crank out and try to beat the hell out of it with a hammer, and take it to the machine shop, and let my checkbook pay for what we fuck up. So right now we got, looks like 3 more cylinders to get the pistons out of. All the rings look good, so I'm just gonna throw some purple powder and brake cleaner on it and gap the rings and call it a day. Like I said earlier, up until now I took really good care of my crap, and we're about to start gutting stuff. I'm really upset with my equipment, so we're gonna break some stuff this year. So like I said, stock crank, stock rods, stock pistons, stock everything besides the cam and carbureted intake, and we will see what we can't do. But like I said, I'll get back with you when I got the crank and everything out, and I'll show you how to look over what we look for as far as shit that's wrong with it. So we'll go from there. So we ended up having to fight with the main caps a little bit. So we're going to pull the crank now. We've got all the rods, all the mains out now. Hopefully we can just pick straight up. Good there. We'll just throw it in the floor over to the side, because we're not responsible adults. And this is what we're looking at now. I come right here and I'll show you the cam bearing that we're fighting with. As you see right here, the cam bearing is stuck to the cam and pulled out of its journal here. And it's been a real big pain in the butt. But I'm thinking that if we can take a Dremel tool, maybe cut it in half, or just absolutely destroy it with a torch. Because like I said, as long as I hit the block, I'm fine. Cam bearings are shot, cams is going in the river. So when I get ready to get it out, whatever method I come up with, I'll walk you through how I got that out. So if you run into that, crap happens. This is it was out of a junkyard. It's supposedly running when it wrecked or whatever happened to it. So we will try to get this out and get it in the machine shop as quick as we can. So this will be where your timing gear goes at, and that's journal 1, journal 2, and then right in the middle of journal 3 here, you can see how it's black discolored. You got scarring and whatnot, unlike the rest of them. This is, like I said, this is a stock cam. We're not using it for anything else. It's just to us, it's trash. This was the bearing and the shape that we had to get it out of. These are, supposed to be not like that. So let's hope it don't do that when I put the BTR cam in, because that would probably push me over the edge of this junk here lately. So, like I said, we are going to donate this to the scrapyard, and be putting the BTR stage 4 in. It comes with the big house springs and all that good stuff. But we're going to go to the machine shop, have bearings put in, and then we'll bring it back, check clearances on everything, and put the crank back in, rods, and reassemble. But for now, we're just going to be tearing it down, cleaning some gunk out of some gallows and whatnot, what we can get here. And I'm hoping that the hot tanking machine's fixed when we get there, because I heard it was down, and just get the whole block hot tank and fixed back. So that's the plan for now. So stay tuned and for the next LS budget build update.